So what I want to do, we manage at Baltic, we manage a range of various buildings, really supporting the full range of creative and digital industries. This is our building here on that image. This was the original warehouse we converted and finished in 2012. It's about 2 or 3 years. That's one of the 18 warehouses that we had originally back in 2012. And when we launched that warehouse, that was essentially an opportunity for us in Liverpool to put a face to the sector. One of the reasons why we did the big glazed screens at the front of the building was to try and shine a light and or provide a sort of a presence really for the sector. It didn't really have a dedicated space at scale in the city. So when we were able to develop the plans for Baltic Creative, it was an opportunity for the sector to coalesce around the vision to support creative and digital industries in the city. So we were really lucky. We were able to secure 100% grant funding to buy 18 warehouses for £1 million and convert them for £3 million. So we got £4 million of 100, all grant funding back in 2010, and essentially, we went through that journey over 2 years of converting the 18 warehouses, and this was the final phase, the shop fronts here at our campus. The campus itself is essentially 4 of them warehouses knocked into one, and there's about 20 companies in here, 25 companies in here. But all of this stuff that we've done it happens in an area called the Baltic Triangle. And what we knew early on was, whilst we could support the businesses within our buildings that we were managing, there was something else happening outside, and we felt it was important to try and bring together the wider community, and we did that via an organisation we formed called the Baltic Triangle Area Community Interest Company. And the ambition around that was to basically be a voice for other organisations who are in the wider sort of ecosystem really here in the Baltic. So that organisation was formed around 2012, 2013. And those obviously, so Baltic Creative, I often say I wear 2 hats. Baltic Creative is the property company that we manage specifically for creative and digital industries. And then the area company is one that represents the views of the wider community, the wider cluster, basically. The other thing that we do, they're the 2 hats really, Baltic and Baltic Triangle. But we also run a load of events and loads of meetups and socials. Obviously, in the last 2 years, most of them have been online. But we always talk about ourselves as an organisation which is like a conduit for support for the businesses. We don't call ourselves a business support organisation, but through all the arts programmes that we're able to sort of act as a conduit for support into arts organisations through some of the, a lot of the work that Alex is doing. She's going to talk you through, she'll give you a little tour around Northern Lights in a little bit. Northern Lights is our arts-led community, so she'll flick through, be able to walk you through that a little bit, maybe talk about some of the arts collectives we're supporting there. But equally, we're doing similar things here with digital businesses and tech businesses. So, and one of the things that we've done back in 2016 was launch Binary Festival. And obviously we run that as a biannual event, a meetup, a 2-day conference initially it was. And we've in 2018 we ran a 1-day event, and then of course in 2020 we had to postpone and we couldn't do it again this year. So we're running Binary Festival in it looks like in May, June of next year, and you're all invited. So we make sure that everyone gets an invitation if they'd like to join us. So they're the 3 things. This is an old image of the Baltic, so you can see, a feel for the sort of type of place it was. Lots of dereliction, crime, little investment. It's actually recognised as the official red light district in Liverpool for a period. So prostitution and, lots of challenges that the area faced really. And obviously we were managed to secure some buildings, but there was a greater need across the area when you look at these buildings to come together with that wider community to develop a vision. And we did that in 2012 when we launched the area company. So, you know, there's been huge change in recent years. But the biggest thing we did as an area, you know, just talking about the Baltic Triangle area company, was get organised, really. You know, we developed the vision manifesto, we developed the business plan, you know, transport plan. We didn't ignore the suits. You know, we got all the policy makers and the local governments involved and engaged in our vision and our plan. And then, of course, we did lots of stuff, and all of this stuff's still happening. Obviously, COVID's had a big impact, hasn't it, on everyone really the last 2 years, but we're still doing stuff. We've got great plans for next year, hopefully, as we're coming out of this thing, to do more, which is great. We actually relaunched the Vision Manifesto. We did a new one for the area in 2019, which sets out a 10-year strategy for the area, 10-year plan. So there's loads of stuff in that, which is gets us all excited about, you know, the opportunity for the area, really. There's probably over 1,000 businesses here now, and there's probably more like 5,000 people working here. But there's at least 5 times that opportunity to support more businesses and more creatives and more artists. And that's where we currently are. You know, the opportunity exists, and that's part of that vision, that 10-year vision for the wider area. But there's loads of stuff happening. The one that I get excited about, if anyone's into trains, Baltic train station that closed in 1917. And it looks like we're going to be able to, we've been lobbying for this for about 10 years now. It looks like the train station will reopen in about 3 years' time, 4 years' time. And that really will be a huge catalyst for further investment into the area, into the business community, as well as, you know, providing opportunities for us to support creatives and artists and you know, all the businesses we work with now. And then loads of other stuff you can see there happening. Just to say something very briefly about the area, we've got this vision and this plan, but it does have very specific themes running through the vision and the plan. And they're the 4 key things for me. And art isn't, you know, there's no coincidence that art is number 1, because the area as a place is recognised by the role art plays, not only in supporting businesses. You know, arts in all their forms are supporting all of these organisations, but it also creates a sense of place. So we massively support public art platforms and you know, graffiti art installations. Alex has done some great stuff over at our Northern Lights scheme. So we've got murals. You know, we've probably got more murals in the city now, you know, compared to other UK cities than anywhere possibly. They're all over. So art's a massive part in the regeneration of the place, and obviously, you know, plays a role in it, you know, creating that sense of identity really in terms of the Baltic. And then, of course, events. You know, people need to be able to do stuff after they finish the working day. So, you know, events and socials and meetups and events venues and you know, bars and cafes and restaurants and all of those things are hugely important for the growth of the ecosystem, really. And that's happened over at Northern Lights and our the brewery village, as we refer to it now. And then, of course, the other 2 things are key and important in those strategies and in those plans. You know, the infrastructure is not just about physical infrastructure, but it's also about business support and business infrastructure, really. And then, of course, last but not least, there's land and property, and that plays a huge role in shaping what we do into the future. So that's the Baltic Triangle, the area stuff. The stuff that we manage on a day-to-day basis, Baltic Creative, is very specifically supporting creative and digital industries. So these are our priorities. And if you looked at this slide 2 years ago, it said in the Baltic Triangle, and you can now see it says in the Liverpool City region. So essentially, we're taking the model of growth we've seen here and we're taking it to other parts of the city region. So we're now, in the next 12 months, 18 months, we're hopefully going to launch a new space in Southport, which is in Sefton Council, and in Runcorn, which is Holton Council. These are you know, other parts of the Liverpool City region outside of the Baltic Triangle. But our government, local government partners love the model, you know, that recycling value. All the value that we create, we recycle back into the tenants, back into the property, or back into the sector. And we're very lucky to have that model, because we can act commercial and be commercial as a landlord, but all the profit we generate goes back into the businesses, supporting the businesses and the community. So it's really valuable. These are some of the headlines. I'll flick through these. But yeah, loads of politicians love that GVA thing, gross value added. That's economic impact. They love all of those figures. Of course, that means, you know, good jobs for the young people of Liverpool coming out of these industries. So that's all good. We know as a sector, we've got to do more in terms of diversity and inclusion. You can see 91% of the people working in our community are white British. That needs to, you know, improve. And we as an organisation have made some strides in recent months to appoint 3 young members to our board, 3 new board members, all below the age of 30, and all from BAME background, so BAME ethnicity. So essentially, you know, we're trying to make some decisions as an organisation which ensures we're more inclusive with the communities we work with across the city region, really. Health and well-being, particularly through COVID's been huge, hasn't it? So we've done lots. We were doing lots prior to COVID around supporting businesses and their staff, but we're doing a hell of a lot more now, and we've continued those programs and took them online, and that's all been all really positive. Given our group here at ECHN, this stuff's really important. This slide about the international reach, even in an age of Brexit, where, you know, it's making it more difficult for businesses to trade across Europe. What we've found actually over the last 4 or 5 years is that there's been a spike, there's been an increase in the amount of trade that businesses are doing internationally. So we as an organisation obviously need to support those businesses and try and help them secure, you know, new routes to market. And we work with partners who help us do that. And of course, the work we do at ECHN helps, the British Council stuff helps, as well as the other partnerships we have with organisations who help business trade internationally. So
I'm sorry, I'm just going to do a little time check.
I'm going to flick right through these last. So there's one.
Super. Okay, so we can still like hear.
Yeah, so Alex. No worries.
Okay,
this
so
is
we're already
Northern
on the Northern Lights.
Alex is going to walk us through that in a sec. This is our digital house scheme we launched in 2019. This is a future scheme we're about to launch. Binary Festival, you're all invited. We'll get that to you, and that's me done. Alex, have you still got your camera?
I'm sure everyone wants to make questions. I just want to make sure we still have room for us to ask you a few questions in the end. So.
Oh, no worries.
That's impressive. Thank you, Mark. So the first part.
Do you want me to show everyone around?
Okay. So I have just to swap the remove spotlight and then Alex. Okay. Alex.
Are you good to go, Alex?
Spotlight. Alex now. Okay. You're in the spotlight.
Hi.
Go ahead.
Hi. So I'm outside because I'm just going to sort of show you the area a bit. So we're obviously in the Keynes Brewery. That's the old brewery. This is the outside. Lots of development happening. So this is right inside. This is the cafe, who are relatively new to us. They're called Ride Cafe, and they have in their space as well a little repair workshop. They got a lot of cyclists, that's why they're called Rides. Wow. Hi, Dave. And then I will take you. So we've actually sort of become the home of lots of smaller sort of art organisations that have been turfed out of their original spaces. So this is Hub. This is their little gallery wall. Hub have been in the area and Liverpool longer than the Baltic Triangle has existed, really, I suppose. Hello. We've nicknamed them Last of the Summer Wine because they're always having a glass of wine. It's actually quite quiet today because there's a big makers market on, so everybody's at that.
Was it also organised by you guys?
No, it's organised by the city's sort of cultural partner called Culture Liverpool. They put on a big market in the cathedral. So this is the glass blowers unit, and I was hoping he was going to be here today and give us a little demo, but he's at a market. But you can see some of his things. He's got this big kiln, and which is really cool. Keeps everyone warm, which is good.
In a big space, like it comes in quite handy, I'm sure.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And then we just kind of got little places where we provide selling opportunities for them, murals and things. Back in the cafe, see here we've got one of the tenants has got all their cards that they're selling. On this side of the building is the Royal Standard. So they were a big sort of arts charity who came with us when we took over this building as well, because they were being turfed out of their original home, and they've got a gallery space. They've collaborated with one of the other art collectives in the building to put on this exhibition, which is really great. And then just back in the cafe. Say hi. Hi. And then down this is one of the corridors on there. We call it the factory floor because it's an old factory. This is one of our tenants, Simon, who's a ceramicist, and he's currently doing a workshop. In here, he's got a little kiln at the bottom and things. Hi, sorry. And then this is our meeting room that is currently undergoing a bit of a transformation into more of a multi-use workshop space. So we're going to put a sink in and things like that so that the tenants can use it for workshops and classes and things. And that is pretty much it quickly. There's other sort of rooms and things, but with everyone not being here, I can't really get in and show you everything.
And this is one of the 18 buildings, is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, this is a bit further out of the Baltic Creative is closer to the city centre. We're a bit further out in the Keynes Brewery Village. A little gallery space. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much. So now we can open now it's perfect in terms of timing. So we can open now the room for discussion. So thank you so much, Alex.
Okay.
Thanks, Alex. So yeah, it's probably worth saying as well at Northern Lights, all the spaces you've just seen are sort of the makers. There's also on one side of the site as well at Northern Lights, there's a music rehearsal recording space, a series of studios being built, a performance space as well adjacent to that, and then also we've got quite a big unit which is sole tenants as sort of a big printing company. So it's a real mixed bag over there, but yeah, it's definitely our arts-led space, affordable arts-led. So